Testing,
Okay.
testing. One,
Hello.
two, three. One. Oh, sorry.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome back again to another late night gaming interlude. And today we're going to be talking about, part from part what we were saying yesterday. This time it's going to be a little
Mm-hmm.
bit shorter, but we're going to have some good new things going on. And I hope y'all enjoy yourselves. And let's get this going.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
what were we talking? Yeah. So what were we talking about yesterday? It was oh yeah, from the video game type stuff. It can be anime still too, but I just want to see from what we were
Uh,
starting from, or like let's talk about like all the stuff we grew up on or something. Yeah,
Stuff we grew up on.
like with anime
Ooh,
or video game. Yeah.
animating video games. So, like I said before, like I said yesterday, I grew up on Pokemon, Dragon Ball. Uh, a little bit. I grew up on Yu-Gi-Oh! The first season. Uh,
Mhm.
mm, Naruto, and
Uh huh.
ooh. And I ran into a bunch of other anime as I was getting older, like similar to Pokemon, like Bakugan and Beyblade, and
Mhm.
stuff of that nature.
Oh,
That
Beyblade
was
is the show, man.
I was always into Beyblade. I was always into that. So that was where I was in gaming. I was playing Nintendo. I was playing Nintendo consoles for a long period of my life. I didn't switch over to playing like Sony and
I kind of
Microsoft.
came in later on.
Yeah, definitely. I was playing
Yeah.
the 64. The 64 was my first console. Again, showing my age. 64 was my first console, and oh man, games like Legends is my childhood game. Although it was rated M for mature, it was me, my dad, and my brother who played
Hmm.
that. I played that Mario Party and Super Mario 64,
Right, right.
Smash Bros and stuff like that. It was just that's where I was, and then when all those games kind of got revamped over to the GameCube, that just made my love for them even more
Hmm.
grow even more. Uh, Unfortunately, when we talk about gaming consoles, I would love for Mario to kind of like switch to move his IP over to stuff like Sony and Microsoft. But I understand it's their mascot, so it's never
Hmm.
gonna happen. I understand it's never gonna
Yeah.
happen. It's their mascot. That Nintendo ain't letting Mario go. That's their
Yeah.
seller. To be fair, Mario's the
It's so
only.
true. Like that's like the main.
Yeah, that's their big one.
Hmm.
That Nintendo has Mario, Pokemon. Pokemon's their biggest seller. That's why they'll never let that go. We'll never get another Pokemon game outside of that. Well, we have Pokemon clones like Tim and
Yeah.
Nexomon that are similar to Pokemon that
Hmm.
that are actually really good. They're actually really good Pokemon clones, but they're uh, they're on other consoles. I never played Tim, but I've heard good things about it. I played Nexomon Extinction, and it's actually a really good game. It's on the PS4 actually for about $20. I recommend people play that if you want a Pokemon clone that's outside of
Hmm.
uh if it's like if you want to play a Pokemon game that's not 100% Pokemon on the PS4, I recommend you
Yeah.
or Xbox, I recommend getting Nexomon Extinction. And I heard it's the latest update for it
I
gave it
heard of
a
that one
Nuzlocke
before.
and randomizer mode. Yeah, it's a really good one. It has a really good story
Yeah.
to it. And it has an online mode now. So you can play with your friends online. So definitely a good game. I recommend.
Oh wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. There was another game I recommend, but I gotta remember what it is. And man, I'm sorry. It's just like when you got, cause I be playing PlayStation a lot, and when I be like, playing on PlayStation video games, there's a lot of random games I be seeing coming out, and sometimes they be like indie games or just anime games. But because there's so many, I don't know, like it's just because half of the games are getting waited out too long, and I really can't put my finger on which new ones to recommend, only because of what people would say. Like, I don't know if I want to play that. You know how everybody gets upset, like when I watch the
Yeah,
PlayStation countdown
anime.
thing, and everybody start complaining about all these games that came out, and I start laughing out loud at that.
The danger of anime games
Yeah,
is the danger of anime games that they're very hit and miss, meaning that they are that develop
yeah,
they cut a lot of corners for a lot of anime games, and it unfortunately leads to the games being very short lived. Um, you know, I
yeah.
I grew up on the Budokai Tenkaichi threes and the Storm series and a couple other anime games like that, and plus Pokemon. That and it taught me is that those games have longevity solely because, like, I can go back and like get a ROM like a emulator for Pokemon Fire Red to this day, and I can play
Hmm.
that with all the fun in the world because I love Generation One Pokemon so much that I can play through Fire Red
Right,
and just have all the fun in the world. Or I can go
right.
and I still have my copy of Budokai Tenkaichi 3 for the Wii. It's it's
Damn, same
actually
here. I got the second one.
I have Budokai 3, Tenkaichi 3, and on my channel I do mods of Budokai Tenkaichi 3. It's on my PC. Um so I love to keep that energy of that series going on as long as I of that game on as long as I can. So I look for emulators. I look for
Right.
like modded ISOs for it, and it's weird because it's like the Spanish community is the one that's doing all that. Like so you'll never really find a modded ISO of Budokai Tenkaichi 3 in English or Japan or even
Oh yeah,
Japanese.
it'd be like another
Man,
language. Yeah.
Dragon Ball in Spanish. Like, I'm sorry, but bro, a Spanish dub of Dragon Ball is ooh, it's so wild. Like it's characters like Goku that sound like who trying to think of a good example of a character. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but it's just
Hmm.
like you'll hear it. Like, if I could find a clip of I wish I could like play a clip of the Spanish dub right now and just be and like you'll hear it, you'll be like, who is that? And I can tell you it's somebody like Goku.
Yeah.
But it's just Dragon Ball games, Pokemon, Naruto games, were what I played growing up. And a lot of people don't know about this one, but there was a Full Metal Alchemist game on the PS2 that my cousin had.
I did not know
Uh,
that.
there was a Full Metal Alchemist game on the PS2. My cousin had it, and I found an emulator for it. I found an emulated ROM for it, and it's like it's beautiful. I love the game still to this day. Um, it's just
Hmm.
wild how many games we have nowadays where it's like it's so many franchises that don't get games which when they deserve it personally. But I honestly don't see them getting games
Right.
anytime soon. Like, I'm glad we're getting a Demon Slayer game. I'm glad we're getting a
Oh
Demon Slayer game.
yeah. I do recommend y'all that, by the way, when it comes out.
Absolutely. Um, I know there's going to be people who are going to say, "Oh, it's just a copy and paste Storm." Yes. What can you do though? Is the same company that made Storm is making this game, and the quality of the gameplay is beautiful. The only danger of it being that it's the same company is that, excuse me, it's gonna be too much like
Right.
Storm. Yeah, excuse me, it's gonna be too
Mm-hmm.
much like Storm. So you can't live. I always tell people you can't live off of nostalgia. You really can't. You can't live off
Yeah, that's
nostalgia.
another thing. Like when it was like watching those old cartoons when you grew up on, and everybody talks about like the little scenes that kind of got you like stuck on. And when you get older and then these new cartoons come out, or even when it comes to the video games, it's just not the same anymore. And you just end up playing the old games. And what is very interesting is how people stream them on YouTube, because it's like you wouldn't think that's what that person would play, only because there were so many games back then that, like example, GameCube, there were so many games back then that some people didn't know about. But then you heard the main popular ones like on the internet and everything. But it's the fact that
Mhm.
everyone has some type of genre in those type of games. Yeah. Even the
Absolutely.
anime too. Yeah.
Anime games are not flourishing like they should, and it's unfortunate. But it's because these companies are becoming greedy with
Yeah,
how they
like when you
maneuver.
want to stream them and stuff,
Hmm.
and you want to put them on, and then all of a sudden you can't stream this, you get copyrighted. Come on,
Hmm.
man.
Now I will say this. Oh, another example. Did you know there was an Attack on Titans game for the PS4?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I heard it was expensive
It was
still,
expensive,
like $50
and
something dollars for it.
the worst part is that game was actually a very okay game. I heard it wasn't. It was like you can create your own service core character and everything. But the only problem was
Oh
you
wow.
could they didn't let you stream it. Bandai Namco flagged everyone who got past their part fours of their playthroughs.
What?
Every part four got flagged. I don't even know what happened past. I don't even know what happens to your character after you
Hmm.
fight the first beast titan, after you fight the first titan, because they flag it.
Man,
They flag it after that fight. And even now, people will go
that's
back and say, "I that game is not."
crazy.
And people say that game's not worth going back. Is not worth the time of going back and playing. And another example, the Fairy Tale game that just came out. It wasn't. It was a great game. People loved it, but it's like Fairy Tale is very infamous in the anime community. So you picked the game that was infamous, and now it's going to be short lived because it's
Right.
like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It's heavily story based, and it's not much to
Hmm.
do after you finish the story. So like
Hmm. True.
when you do a shonen game, you can't not have a battle mode. I say this all the time. When you do a shonen based anime game, you can't not have a battle mode, like an online battle mode or offline battle mode. You can't not have that. It's not.
That's
It's not.
crazy, man. That's crazy. You know what?
It's crazy, but it's true because like think about it. If you were to go back and look at all the Dragon Ball games we have gotten,
Right.
the ones that were the most successful were the ones with an online battle mode or an offline battle mode. Not because it
Hmm.
had a good story mode, because everybody knows a Dragon Ball game is just gonna retell Dragon Ball Z.
Yo, that just reminded me about every time I watch Dragon Ball Z, they always start from the beginning. Like I remember playing it. I'm sorry if I bring up the GameCube again, but I remember playing Dragon Ball Z. I think it was Ten Kaichi, Kaichi,
Yeah,
and
Tenkaichi.
it
Yep.
started out, yeah, and it started out like, how every Dragon Ball Z story went through, but it has certain like story modes
The what ifs.
mixed up a bit in certain parts of the game. Yeah, it's just like
The
it's
what ifs.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, the what ifs made
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Ball what they were. But that's why I love Xenoverse so much. Xenoverse made those what ifs and kind of manifested them into something different. Um, I love Xenoverse because it gave you as a person a chance to create your own character, even though they don't have enough black hairstyles in Dragon Ball to make a black character. Uh, I'll get into that another day though. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but Dragon Ball Xenoverse had the potential to be one of the greatest Dragon Ball games of all time, and it flopped.
Yes,
It
I
missed its mark.
definitely agree.
It missed its mark, and I can admit that. It sold the most. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 sold the most out of any Dragon Ball game in history. That means more
Wow.
than Tenkaichi, more than Raging Blast, more than Ultimate Tenkaichi, more than any other Dragon Ball game. Even Dragon Ball Fighters. And Fighters is known as the most competitive Dragon Ball game we've ever gotten because it's actually in competitive gaming tournaments like Evo, which they even dropped it recently because of some scandals that happened recently. That is a
Mm-hmm.
topic. That's a topic we can have for another podcast again. Scandals in the gaming community. Because I would have to give
Oh
AI
yeah, good
Sakura here.
good topic.
I would have
Yeah.
I would have to give AI Sakura a lot of my inside information. Well, it's not inside information, it's on Twitter. Uh it's in the
Say it again.
archives of all the stuff that happened. If you want to look up the scandals that have happened in the gaming community, in the fighting game community, even the Pokemon community, uh, they all happened in Twitter. All the accusations, everything that went down, it all happened on Twitter. It all was spoken on Twitter. I remember I got on Twitter on those days it was happening. And Twitter is usually the most toxic area to be in. And I acknowledge that. But when I saw um I guess we can talk about this in this podcast because it's not like the accusations were
Mm-hmm.
proven, but the first we'll just talk about the first one that I saw, and it was a Pokemon in the Pokemon community, and it was a well-known streamer, a well-known Pokemon content creator that I ironically used to watch, and what kind of created me as a YouTuber as well. That's why I kind of rebranded myself and remolded myself as a person as well. Is the King Nappy. That incident with him, he manipulated a bunch of his friends and also preyed on a bunch of young
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of his young audience members and a couple young Pokemon YouTubers as well. And the receipts and
Oh
everything are all
man.
on Twitter, and it's so sad. It's sad because when you look up to some certain content creators, I went very I think that news turned my heart kind of cold with how I handled things with YouTubers because
Yeah, and that's another thing when you look up to someone and then learn about the past catching up to them and they're a whole completely different person, kind of shocking when you get to
it's
know
a
who they are.
it's a
Yeah.
dark side. It's a dark side, and it kind of made me have this mentality of I don't need idols in this thing. I don't. I don't need idols.
Mm-hmm.
I need people who I can collaborate with in my friend group. And I still stand by that ironically. I don't idolize anyone on YouTube. I respect those who have come up and made big numbers and da 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 da. But I'll never sit there and say I idolize anybody again on YouTube, because we got too many skeletons.
Right.
YouTubers have too many skeletons in their closet, and it leads to just a dangerous road, you know. And this is why I tell people don't idolize people in general. Even not even me. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not a good role. I tell people I'm not the best role model. I'm learning. You know, I'm learning, and I'm being the
Yeah.
best I can be. I'm being the best I can be. But don't. When people say, "Oh, I want to be just like you," understand that I am a 25-year-old man trying to get out of my parents' house. It's not something to idolize
Yeah.
right
The
now.
struggle
It's
is
not
real,
so.
especially with the
Yeah,
coronavirus stopping a
exactly.
lot of people from doing certain stuff.
Exactly. I tell people don't idolize somebody you don't know their story on. And my story is something to learn from, not something to idolize. So, but I came
Mm-hmm.
up from I tell people the best way to describe my YouTube channel, my YouTube no, the best way to describe my story is Crown Prince, Lost Throne, build his own. That's the best phrasing for it. Meaning I had made so many mistakes, so many bad decisions in my
Right.
life that my parents told me you need to figure yourself out. Um, and now I'm molding myself. And those bad decisions, although they weren't the best, they molded me into something better. You know, um,
Mm-hmm.
I tell people this all the time: don't let your bad choices define you. Don't let uh, don't let anything you've done in your past define you. Because I tell people all the time, I wasn't perfect. I wasn't. I'm still not. I'm still not. I make choices that sometimes I feel like can affect me down the line, and I gotta wait. I gotta wait to see where my life goes. And
Right.
I think that that's where we gotta be real in these type of podcasts and tell people is that like I get that there's moments where you're gonna have people who look up to you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a keep in mind, people. I'm an uncle. Like I said in the last stream, I'm an uncle to 5 kids, and they look up to me, and all of them look up to me with a deep passion. And real talk, it's hard to try to make myself be the person I want them to see me as. But I do what I can. A lot of people don't realize
Mm-hmm.
that side of
Yep.
me. A lot of people don't realize that side of me and what I grind for. But literally, if I wasn't afraid of creeps on the internet, I would show you my bundles of joy that are my nephews and nieces.
Yeah, you
You
always
know
want to grind.
exactly.
Especially when you're
They
doing when you have that skill or talent. And if you're definitely trying to become an anime artist and all these type of things in animation, you should definitely keep going for your dreams.
absolutely, absolutely. I believe we are all born with something that we're gifted with, and we just have to find it. And a lot of people say I'm gifted with multiple things that I just can't, that I just have to push to make my
Right.
best. And like a lot of people told me I was supposed to be I should have been a voice actor since I was like in high school. I didn't start taking voice acting seriously until
Mm-hmm.
last year when after I met you. um it's ironic because in my last relationship I wanted to take it seriously, but it wasn't one of those things. I wasn't motivated for it back then. But
Mm-hmm.
now, like, you can get these voices like let's see, well, hello, how are you? And I can maintain those type of voices for years. I've trained that voice for so long. I can do that for a whole month and I won't even care. But
Wow.
it's just how strong I've gotten with that. And people don't grasp is that that's just a family thing. My father's side of the family, we are known for just randomly changing our voices, changing voices mid conversation. Um, it's
Mm-hmm.
just a family thing. We just do it. So, but I am
Another
the
thing
first.
is if you're trying to be,
No, go
yeah,
ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
But I
Oh,
was
I was
gonna say
saying
I'm.
that's another thing. If you're trying to, oh no,
No,
it's
go
fine,
ahead.
it's
Go
fine.
ahead.
Yeah.
No, it's
No,
fine.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I want to hear what you gotta say.
I was gonna say
If
I'm
you're
a
trying to
first
become
gener.
a voice actor,
Yeah, I'm a fourth generation. I'm the first generation to try and take this voice acting thing serious. That's all I was gonna say. Like
yeah,
I got it's like 5 generations of this, but I'm the first generation to do it and very proud of it. So, but go
really
ahead.
proud. And then you get paid a lot of money with that. Anybody's trying to do any related, yeah.
Um,
That's what I'm mostly trying to do as well.
I was gonna say anime
Hmm.
voice acting doesn't pay as well as people think. That industry is very lowball. Like, if you go into looking into the like casting club, a lot of those, even the fan dubs, they only pay you like $5 per role.
Wow.
Like I had, like keep in mind, I've been paid for a couple roles that even though they didn't go through, they still kept let me keep the money because they didn't go through. But because I put the voice file, I gave them the voice file, so my part was done. Um,
Right.
but I realized is that like that wouldn't pay the bills even if I tried at my level. Like I'm not even a C-list voice actor, so you gotta be a B-list for that to pay
Hmm.
the bills. You gotta be doing this for 10 years.
Right.
Excuse me. So yeah, anime voice acting is not it's not easy.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people who would tell you
That's so true.
that this doesn't pay the bills until you start making yourself a big name. But go ahead. I would
Right.
love to hear. I love to hear your input on this. Actually, this is actually an interesting topic. Um, anime voice acting. Oh wow. Hmm. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yep.
Okay. I was gonna ask, how do you feel about anime voice acting in this current climate we're in? Like, how do you feel like?
So I feel like we have more advantage. It's just the equipment, and there's certain equipment out there that that like everyone can use. It's just that we're limited because of coronavirus, and the problem about that is where to go to get, do your voice acting in person or online. Interesting part is anyone can fill out for a form if they want to do voice actor for anime character, and then you got to make sure your voice match it, and you got to practice, and then you have to study the script, and this is all part of acting, by the way. When you do acting in many different ways. That's how it is when it's like becoming an anime character in real life. And when it
Absolutely.
comes to different backgrounds, people who's trying to become, yeah, when it comes to people trying to talk from like that voice, it's hard because you have to make sure you have the tone, you got to make sure you said the right lines. And some people are very specific. It gets really crazy, especially when, like, example, that's like us talking, and then you have to talk a certain way. But by the way, what you think about it?
What do I think about the climate of anime voice acting right now? Um,
Hmm.
the climate of anime voice acting. It's a flourishing market. It's just people. A lot of big name projects are coming out, and a lot of them are getting dubbed. So it's unfortunate when uh your resume is lowered to just doing fan dubs like me, unfinished fan dubs. I hate dealing with that.
Right.
But you know, when your resume is just that, um, it's always something made. It's always something amazing. When you can actually start just hearing your voice and like I remember I tried to do a video. I did a video on me dubbing the Dragon Ball Fighters dialogue between Goku and Goku Black. And that
Right.
video, it may not get the plays that I want, but it shows what I needed to do as far as those voices. I realized my voice for Super Saiyan Goku sounded more like a Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but my Goku Black was on point. And it's weird because I trained on my Goku voice, but I always trained on his happy voice, not really his ready for battle.
That's another
Um,
thing.
mhm. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, no, I said that's another thing. My bad. That's another thing is that when you're trying to prepare your voice for that type of emotion, it gets out of hand
Absolutely,
with that part. Yeah.
because I used the level of grit that Goku had for Super Saiyan 4. Like, let me see if I can recreate it. Um, how I'll use the dialogue he used for against Baby Vegeta. Hmm. Your your hits are weak. Your punches are a tickle like a little feather. That's not. It's like that voice. That's Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Your punches tickle
Wow.
like a little feather. That's Super Saiyan 4 Goku. But Super Saiyan
Man, this
Goku
is so
when
many
I it's intimidating. It's Batman. Like I always saw it like a Goku mixed with Batman.
Batman. Yeah.
But
Man, don't get me
that's what
started with Batman, man.
Batman. I'm Batman. The easiest way to go the easiest way to train your voice to be Batman is just say I'm Batman.
You gotta kind of make
So,
your voice scratchy, a little bit low.
I'm Batman. So, well, so we're looking for Joker right now, correct? And it's like that voice hurts. That voice hurts, low key. It's like
It really does. I could
I
just
don't like.
imagine the
Yeah, it's a Batman. I
right.
practice Batman on the least occasions though. Like I know how to do it, I just don't do it. I rarely do it. Like Batman is like my least used voice. If I were to talk about
Right.
like superheroes, I blame the Black Panther movie for this, but T'Challa is my most used voice. Because I practiced a lot of it just because I watched the movie like 17 times. Um, I say if people
Damn, that's a
wanted to,
lot of times.
it's still one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time. Marvel, like Chadwick Boseman, and just everyone in that cast, like they deserve their flowers for what that movie was. It was a beautiful movie. A lot of people don't realize that, like, although Chadwick was the face being Black Panther, it was just so many people who made that movie what it was, and it's unfortunate that we can't.
Yeah.
It's hard to recreate what that movie was because of his passing, and not to take
Right,
away
it
from any of
is. It
that,
really is.
but it's one of those things that makes me realize that we gotta honor that movie for what it was, especially forming a new era in not only just superhero culture, like a superhero limelight, because before then,
Right.
like we talked about before, black superheroes weren't being portrayed like that. But now we have a whole renaissance of people wanting to see black superheroes, people loving this, and
That diversity right there.
The
Yep.
diversity, the diversity had flipped off the hinges, and I love it. I love it. Man, I think that when I look back on all these things, I think that what I would take from just coming up as a comic book fan or an anime fan or a
Right.
video game fan, I gotta say diversity, the level of diversity within the last 20 years alone is mind blowing. It's mind blowing. It really is. Like there's been levels of people talking about, oh, we want a, they want a black James Bond. Do you not realize how wild that is? Or
Wow.
or the fact that after 40 to 50 years, there's been discussions of a black Batman. A black Batman.
Yeah.
These things, like, these are things I never would have thought I'd seen in my time. Like, I would think that like this is the type of stuff that would never happen, but it didn't.
Right.
And I just wish that we can get a black anime lead that doesn't have to rely on historical figures. Like Yasuke, I love that we're getting that, but I feel like it's gonna sell because of his history, because of him being a historical figure. If we can get a black anime lead that's like, I feel like as a shonen, I would be satisfied. Or even as a
Right.
slice of life, a black anime lead would be beautiful. Um, because they tried before with a couple series. Neo no,
Mm-hmm.
Yokio. Neo Yokio was a who was a huge hit or miss. Um, it was made by Jaden Smith and I forgot who else, but it was a very ugh, anime. It's on Netflix. It's something. It doesn't have direction. That's the problem with it. It doesn't have direction. And I feel like a lot of people would appreciate, like, I feel like now this conversation that I'm having about black
Right.
leads in like shonen slice of life and stuff like that, I feel like now in this climate people could say, oh, that may be just you throwing race into it, but it's throwing
Yeah.
diversity, it's throwing representation, and it's telling people that because these anime series are going outside of Japan now when they create them. A lot of them are taking place outside of Japan nowadays. Like there's a couple of scenes in My Hero that was in Los Angeles. There was a couple of anime series that were in the US, and there were like a lot of them, but there weren't that many black people in those scenes. So it's like you don't realize that doesn't
Yeah,
make
that's
sense.
true. That's true.
Exactly. So it doesn't add up. Like, why are there, when you go to the US, you don't expect to see a black person, even if you're there for 2 seconds. Somebody black is gonna pop up.
Yeah.
2 seconds ain't gonna take you that long. It ain't gonna take you that long. Hell, you see a black person on the airport at the
Mm-hmm.
airport. You can run into a black person
You
at the
like
airport.
a
To be
couple of
honest,
scenes and you probably see that one. Yeah.
exactly. And then I think what gets to me is that like they only really try to display black people when it's based off of them going into the roots of Africa. And I'm like, cool. I like that. I appreciate it, but sometimes the representation of the Africans can be a little bit questionable. Like tribal beings who, like, I get it. That's old school. That's olden days olden day Africans. But modern day Africans, their societies are just as advanced as ours. So like I'm kind of tired of seeing, like, when I look on
That's
TV and
true.
somebody shows a representation of Africa, even in anime, I'd be questioning like, oh, could y'all like not show uh like a hut
The negative,
or a
they always
spear?
show the yeah, they always put the negative, but not the positive way of how we live. It's always so when other people see it, they believe that's how we live when that's not true.
And part of it is because of the fact that a lot of these writers do, or artists don't go to the actual area in question that they're basing it off of, uh,
Hmm.
which is really unfortunate because you start to think about it, like, why are you doing this? So I don't know. It's weird to me because I start to think about this a lot. Where it's like a black lead in anime would be beautiful for the
Right.
black community, but then I
That
think
would be
about
beautiful.
it would be beautiful, but people are saying, well, if you don't like it, make your own, and we get anime like Cannon Busters that aren't written the best, but they're good series. They're a good series, and
Yep.
we got Afro Samurai, which still one of my top fives. Uh, just a bunch of, like, I can name, I like off the tongue. That's the unfortunate part. You can't really name that many black
Right.
leads, because black leading anime characters, because you start to think about it, like, why is it
Yeah.
like that? Because are like when like the question people don't grasp is that, unfortunately, a lot of the world doesn't see Africa or African Americans or Africans as marketable, and it low
You
key
get an
pisses me
interesting
off because
insight too. I
hmm
agree.
it pisses me off on certain levels, because it's like, what makes us not marketable? Because I can tell you the truth, there's no I can't see, like like me as a black man, they won't say I'm marketable, but
Hmm.
they'll try to sexual, like how, and the anime culture will sexualize certain
Right.
characters. They'll sexualize the
Oh
hell out of a
yeah,
black
when
a
they do it
black
to the
anime.
female characters.
Mm-hmm. And if the black anime male is not
Yeah.
isn't built like a chiseled block of stone, it ain't happening. He ain't getting sexualized. Unfortunately,
It's that
it
stereotypes. Yeah,
it
in the
is. It
anime.
is. It is. It absolutely is. Absolutely is. And it's a. Yeah, I would hate to say it like it's just black people with that on the male side. It's just in general, but that's because the male dominant anime is shown, especially shonen, is such a male dominant market that it's hard to, try to make a character that's based off of sexualizing a dude, because the market is male dominant.
Yeah.
So it's like, of course you're not going to sell like that. uh Now with
Right.
slice of life,
Yeah.
unfortunately, slice of life, that's why you see so many sexualized male figures in slice of life anime. If you haven't noticed, a lot of male figures are sexualized in slice of life, specifically because of the fact that it's female dominant. That's a female anime market,
Hmm.
and that's why you always see those scenes where the male character will take off his shirt and you do this, that, and the third, and you be like, oh, okay. Like me as a guy, like, oh, okay, this is where we're going. Yeah, I know what you're doing. But then I started to sit down and think about it. Like, is this what this is what women think about when they see female anime characters go through this issue? Like, for real? Like, is this what y'all be thinking
Right.
about? Because in my head, I'd be like, all right, you about to sexualize the hell out this dude, huh?
Right.
But these angles, I gotta say, anime loves certain angles. And you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say the term certain angles. And
Right.
anybody who watch anime know what I'm talking
True. That
about.
is so true.
They love their angles, man. They love their angles. And I love it too. I ain't gonna lie. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of loving it too, okay? I'm guilty of
I
loving it
agree. I
too.
agree.
I ain't gonna plead the fifth. I will let's sit here and say I'm guilty of it. It's happened. Them angles have caught my eye more than they needed to. And it's unfair because these anime developers know what they're doing. They want people like me to see that. That's why they be showing the angle of a dude looking up from a girl and seeing nothing but the top of her chest, or so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And you're like, we can't
Right.
win.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We as men, we can't win out here. We can't win. They want to see how quickly we resist the primal urges that we have. And I think that I am very proud of myself. I am very good at my mental strength on that. Could part of me be like, well, damn. But then another part of me is like, nice try.
Right.
I'm guilty. Like I said, I'm guilty of it at times. But I think like what trained me was well, I tell people all the time, as a man, your urges as a person, you can't sit there and look and focus on looking at that type of stuff, It's only gonna corrupt you more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's only gonna corrupt you. That's why that's why people see me as some type of wise sensei type and not the pervy sensei type. And it's like, unfortunately,
Yeah.
y'all, like, you gotta realize that's only because I had to train my mind on that stuff. I know where that stuff goes. They do it on
Yeah.
purpose.
Also, sorry to cut you off here. So I was gonna continue more on let's say Friday. What's tomorrow? Wednesday? Probably
Tomorrow is when
Friday.
tom-
No wait, today
yeah,
is the
today is Wednesday. Today is Wednesday technically. Oh wow, we've been going at it again for longer than planned.
it's good. It's good. It's going well. It's going well. So we're gonna continue off probably probably Friday because everybody's not doing not doing work, schoolwork, probably not too busy. So
Absolutely.
we're definitely gonna get back to this, and I really support everyone that was coming in, and I hope everyone subscribe, like, comment, and to have more other people coming. And this time, we're also going to have more posts of people coming in to let you know what time we're going to go live stream, so it'll be easier for other people because of time zones. And any last words?
We are here to give the scoop on what needs to be talked about. We have a platform and we're thankful to have it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Also,
definitely, definitely.
to be on a funny note, I think that if you talk about thick thighs
Mm-hmm.
culture, we need to have that discussion on another stream.
Right.
I I have a
Right.
lot of I have a lot of them. I have a lot of let's
We
save that
definitely.
for another stream topics.
Yeah, we
But
definitely gonna. It's gonna be funny as heck. Yep.
I am who I am. Sometimes you gotta be I let myself run free. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. But also check out both our channels. Not just my own, but check out AI Soccer's other channels, from her podcast channel to her motivational speech channel. Um
Mm-hmm.
check out our social medias. Mine will be in my videos, so in case you guys actually want to know where mine are, just go into my social medias. And also, anytime you guys want us to, if you guys are at this point where you guys want us to talk about game, if we're talking about gaming stuff, I don't mind dropping my PlayStation name on there, on here. It's just, you guys, once again,
Same
you
here.
got,
Yep.
we're we
We
got
gotta
you guys
connect.
got it. Yeah, we all got to connect. You never know who you're gonna run
That's so
into, and
true.
you never know
That's
who you run
so
into.
damn true.
So I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are ready for more podcasts like this, more, basically more streams like this, because
Mm-hmm.
this can be a very consistent thing. Uh,
Okay.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So thank you, everyone. Definitely come back for some more. See ya.
Bye bye.